Doing well. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna wait. Man, you gonna wave at everybody? You can't see them, but I'm gonna show you how you can. Okay. All right. So see, you can see right there. Everybody's tuning in. So you can see when people come, and you can interact with them right there. So Madison and I are hanging out today, and she is going to be working the Facebook Live. Right? You have a really big job to do today. Okay. Thanks, friend. So Maddie's going to be working the live. Just wait for people to come on, say hello. No, don't you don't text, you don't type it. You can say it right here. Oh, you say it right here. So you can see it. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come one, come all. Come one, come all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we are doing our story time. I know it's been a long time. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you, right? But but life happens, and so we needed to have some time to recalibrate and kind of figure out what we were going to do with story time. We love Maddie and I love story time, right? We always have. And so we're actually in my parents' room in my mom's bed. My mom's supposed to be coming up here. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? With me, mom. We don't know what's gonna happen. She said she would be ready, and then she was downstairs cooking. So we shall see. But we're here with you. And this mom, oh, she would. Okay, everybody. So next week you should have 3 generations of storytellers on with us. So you'll have Madison, you'll have me, and you'll have my mom. But this month, for the month of July, we are highlighting a lot of authors from the African diaspora. So for those of you who are not familiar with the term diaspora, the diaspora means a disbursement of people. Okay, so it means a or people, different groups of people, different types of people. So you can call them peoples. So those are people groups. And so they can have a different point of origin. So when we say African diaspora, then we think that those people started where? In Africa? That's exactly right. Their people started in Africa. That's right. So we are a part of the African diaspora. Good. That's very good. There are all kinds of diasporas, guys. There's a Jewish diaspora, there's an indigenous American diaspora, there is an Australian diaspora, and so the diaspora can be as big as a continent, or it can be as small as an ethnic group. So the term diaspora simply means disbursement of people. We are going to be highlighting authors all month long, particularly on Sundays, who are members of the African diaspora. So they can be African artists or African authors. They can be African American authors. They can be Afro-Caribbean authors, you see. So as long as they are in the diaspora, then they are fair game. Today, we are going to be reading one of mine and Maddie's favorite books, her Marraine. Marraine is French for what? Do you remember? Who's Marraine to you? It means godmother. Oh, not grandma. So we want to say a special thank you so much to Madison's Marraine, her godmother, Claire Stewart Sorensen. And we want to also say a special hello to our bonus children out there who are looking on. So hello, Joshua. Hello, Maya. Hello, August and EJ. Hello to Zoe. Hello to, who else did we miss? I'm sorry. Hello to Xavier. I did not mean to forget you, but all of those people who really, really love reading and books, we want to say hello and bring you greetings. So this is, let me see if I can get my. Oh, somebody popped on. Hey, popped on person. That's Mr. Abdul. You remember him? So say hey, Mr. Oh, aren't you sweet? All right, so we have, this is Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, an African Tale. And this is by John Steptoe. So John Steptoe was a really famous writer in the mid 20th century. He was born in New York, and he actually retraced his roots and they took him back to the southern part of Africa. So he's really from the area, his peoples are from like South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana. And so he came upon this tale called Mufaro's Daughters, and he wrote it in a way to make sure that it could translate well to American populations. So this book is dedicated specifically for him to the children of South Africa. Ready? Yup. Put your phone down, friend. Okay. A long time ago, in a certain place in Africa, a small village lay across a river and half a day's journey from a city where a great king lived. A man named Mufaro lived in this village with his two daughters who were called Manyara and Nyasha. Everyone agreed that Manyara and Nyasha were very beautiful. Let me know if you can see real well, guys. Oh, there we go. Can you see? You look at the phone, so let me know if you can see well. So you see the daughters, they are pretty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Manyara was almost always in a bad temper. She teased her sister whenever their father's back was turned, and she had been heard to say, "Someday, Nyasha, I will be queen, and you will be a servant in my household." "If that should come to pass," Nyasha responded, "I will be pleased to serve you. But why do you say such things? You are clever and strong and beautiful. Why are you so unhappy?" "Because everyone talks about how kind you are, and they praise everything you do," Manyara replied. "I'm certain that father loves you best, but when I'm queen, everyone will know that your silly kindness is only weakness." You think that's okay?
No.
No.
She a mean sister. That's why her kindness is better than hers.
Ooh. Look at how mad she looks. Let's see. You see how mad she looks? Mm-hmm. Ooh, angry.
We can see it.
Angry, angry bird. Nyasha was sad that Manyara felt this way, but she ignored her sister's words and went about her chores. Nyasha kept a small plot of land on which she grew millet, sunflowers, yams, and vegetables. She always sang as she worked, and some said it was her singing that made her crops more bountiful than anyone else's. That means that she had more vegetables, she had more crops, she had more all that stuff than anybody else because she could sing real good. She had one of them Aretha voices. All right, very good. One day, Nyasha noticed a small garden snake resting beneath a yam vine. "Good day, little Nyoka," she called to him. "You are welcome here. You will keep away any creatures who might spoil my vegetables." She bent forward, gave the little snake a loving pat on the head, and then returned to her work. From that day on, Nyoka was always at Nyasha's side when she tended her garden. It was said that she sang all the more sweetly when he was there. That's sweet. Okay. There he is. You see the little garden snake? I know there's a jelly. It's okay. Mufaro knew nothing of how Manyara treated Nyasha. Nyasha was too considerate of her father's feelings to complain, and Manyara was always careful to behave herself when Mufaro was around. Early one morning, a messenger from the city arrived. The great king wanted a wife. The most worthy and beautiful daughters in the land are invited to appear before the king, and he will choose one to become queen, the messenger proclaimed. Mufaro called Manyara and Nyasha to him. "It would be a great honor to have one of you chosen," he said. "Prepare yourselves to journey to the city. I will call together all our friends to make a wedding party. We will leave tomorrow as the sun rises." "But my father," Manyara said sweetly, "it would be painful for either of us to leave you, even to be wife to the king. I know Nyasha would grieve to death if she were parted from you. I am strong. Send me to the city and let poor Nyasha be happy here with you." Do you see what she's trying to do?
uh,
Yeah, she's trying to keep her sister there with her father so that she could go up into the city and be king. Sneaky, sneaky.
and became.
Be queen, I'm sorry. Mufaro beamed with pride. The king has asked for the most worthy and the most beautiful. No, Manyara, I cannot send you alone. Only a king can choose between two such worthy daughters. Both of you must go. Mhm.
Competition, no.
Well, a little bit for Manyara. Nyasha never wanted to compete with her sister.
They come to someone.
It's a folk tale. That night, when everyone was asleep, Manyara stole quietly out of the village. She had never been in the forest at night before, and she was frightened. But her greed to be the first to appear before the king drove her on. In a hurry, she almost stumbled over a small boy who suddenly appeared standing in the path. Please, said the boy, I am hungry. Will you give me something to eat? I have brought only enough for myself, Manyara replied. But please, said the boy, I'm so very hungry. Out of my way, boy. Tomorrow I will become your queen. How dare you stand in my path? Isn't that dreadful? That's what, listen, that's what she thinks. That's what you think. Rude tale. Let's see what happens. Look at her, how mean and vicious she looks.
She thinks that she's not. Sorry. I just know what it's gonna do.
Okay, let's listen. After traveling for what seemed to be a great distance, Manyara came to a small clearing. There, silhouetted against the moonlight, was an old woman seated on a large stone. The old woman spoke. I will give you some advice, Manyara. Soon after you pass the place where two paths cross, you will see a grove of trees. They will laugh at you. You must not laugh in return. Later, you will meet a man with his head under his arm. You must be polite to him. How do you know my name? How dare you advise your future queen? Stand aside, you ugly old woman, Manyara scolded, and then rushed on her way without looking back. Just as the old woman had foretold, Manyara came to a grove of trees, and they did indeed seem to be laughing at her. I must be calm, Manyara thought. I will not be frightened. She looked up at the trees and laughed out loud. I laugh at you, trees, she shouted, and she hurried on. It was not yet dawn when Manyara heard the sound of rushing water. The river must be up ahead, she thought. The great city is just on the other side. But there, on the rise, she saw a man with his head tucked under his arm. Manyara ran past him without speaking. A queen acknowledges only those who please her, she said to herself. I will be queen. I will be queen, she chanted as she hurried on toward the city. Child, she would listen. Wishing on a memory. Nyasha woke at the first light of dawn. As she put on her finest garments, she thought how her life might be changed forever beyond this day. I much prefer to live here, she admitted to herself. I'd hate to leave this village and never see my father or sing to little Nyoka again. Her thoughts were interrupted by loud shouts and commotion from the wedding party assembled outside. Manyara was missing. Everyone bustled about, searching and calling for her. When they found her footprints on the path they led to the city they decided to go on as planned. As the wedding party moved through the forest, brightly plumed birds darted out in the cool green shadows beneath the trees. Though anxious about her sister, Nyasha was soon filled with excitement about all there was to see. They were deep in the forest when she saw the small boy standing by the side of the path. You must be hungry, she said, and handed him a yam she had brought for her lunch. The boy smiled and disappeared as quietly as he had come. Later, as they were approaching the place where the two paths crossed, the old woman appeared and slightly pointed the way to the city. Nyasha thanked her and gave her a small pouch filled with sunflower seeds. The sun was high in the sky when the party came to the grove of towering trees. Their uppermost branches seemed to bow down to Nyasha as she passed beneath them. At last, someone announced that they were near their destination. They have a whole caravan. Look at that. They are prepared for a whole party. They got a lot of people there.
Oh,
That's a lot of folks. Huh.
sounds like a lot of having a party.
Friend. Nyasha ran ahead and topped the ride. I'm sorry, guys. Nyasha ran ahead and topped the rise before the others could catch up with her. She stood transfixed at her first sight of the city. Oh, my father, she called. A great spirit must stand guard here. Just look at what lies before us. I never in all my life dreamed there could be anything so beautiful. Have you guys seen that before? Something like that, where you just looked above the top of something, the top of a mountain, from a plane or anything like that, and you said, "I've never seen something more beautiful." Have you done that before? Like when we went to Morocco or when we were on the plane?
Yeah, because I like those trees. Like when we was at that little,
Mm-hmm.
I like that tree. Because the trees look like they came right out of my hand.
Right out of my hand. Okay. Well, let's keep reading and see what happens. Arm in arm, Nyasha and her father descended the hill, crossed the river, and approached the city gate. Just as they entered through the great doors, the air was rent by piercing screams. "Ah!" And Minyara ran wildly out of a chamber at the center of the enclosure. When they saw Nyasha, she fell upon her, sobbing. "Do not go to the king, my sister. Oh, please, father, do not let her go," she cried hysterically. "There's a great monster there, a snake with 5 heads. He said that he knew all of my faults and that I displeased him. He would have swallowed me alive if I had not run. Oh, my sister, please do not go inside that place." It frightened Nyasha to see her sister so upset. But leaving her father to comfort Manyara, she bravely made her way to the chamber and opened the door. I wonder what's happening inside that chamber. A snake with 5 heads. It's like another room, like a special room. Oh. Mhm. You're asking good questions, friend. On the seat of the great chief's stool lay the little garden snake. Nyasha laughed with relief and joy. "My little friend," she exclaimed. "It's such a pleasure to see you. But why are you here?" "I am the king," Nyoka replied. And there, before Nyasha's eyes, the garden snake changed shape. Look, there's a snake there.
Oh, I thought you said something.
Nope. The garden snake said he was the king. "I am the king. I am also the hungry boy with whom you shared a yam in the forest, and the old woman to whom you made a gift of sunflower seeds. But you know me best as Nayoka, because I have been all these things. I know you to be the most worthy and most beautiful daughter in the land. It would make me very happy if you would be my wife." Is this not precious? Look, thank goodness he's handsome. You know how I feel. It could have been another way. We have seen some. And so it was that a long time ago, Nyasha agreed to be married. The king's mother and sisters took Nyasha to their house, and the wedding preparations began. The best weavers in the land laid out their finest cloth for her wedding garments. Villagers from all around were invited to the celebration, and a great feast was held. Nyasha prepared the bread for the wedding feast from millet that had been brought from her village. Mufaro proclaimed to all who would hear him that he was the happiest father in all the land, for he was blessed with two beautiful and worthy daughters, Nyasha, the queen, and Manyara, a servant in the queen's household.
I told you. I didn't told you.
You told us. You told us.
I didn't mean to spoil the story, but I know what's going to happen. If the lead right, her and someone, they're going to be there. So they're going to do that. And the other one going to have to do this and do that for the other girl.
Mm,
And
mm.
that's how the story ends.
And that's how the story ends, guys. We really hope that you enjoyed story time with us. Again, this was really a groundbreaking story. This was a trailblazing story by John Steptoe around I want to say the 1970s, because when he died, he was only 38 years old. But this was groundbreaking because it helped Black children, children across the diaspora, particularly in the United States, see themselves differently. So we really enjoy this book. We thank you guys for tuning in. So tune in next week and we will have another book during story time from someone in the African diaspora. Take good care. God bless you. Go be great on purpose. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much.